there, thanks for joining me in this video. In this video, I'll be discussing criminal rehabilitation applications. Criminal rehabilitations are needed if you are inadmissible to Canada. So let's assume you have a DUI that happened over 5 years ago, and it's your only offense. You may be eligible to get a document called criminal rehabilitation. This document is a little bit different than the temporary resident permit, as the temporary resident permit is only temporarily. The criminal rehabilitation, should it be granted, is permanent, which essentially means Canada has forgiven the offense and you are now eligible to enter Canada without discussing your criminal inadmissibility each time at the port of entry. This application should be submitted at a visa office prior to your entry into Canada. Now, on a rare occasion, officers do review the application at the port of entry, but I don't recommend it as you can be turned around and the officer can request that this should be submitted at a visa office. Currently, processing for criminal rehabilitation is about 8 to 12 months, and the government fees initially is $200. We submit that with the application, and the officer does have the ability and the right to come back and request for an additional $800 processing fee. So the total government fees can cost about $1,000. That being said, and considering the length of the duration of the application being processed at the visa office, if you have an urgent travel date, we can also assist temporarily to apply for the temporary resident permit. And as stated before, it's very similar to the criminal rehabilitation, except it's temporary. Now, unlike the criminal rehabilitation, this application can be done at the port of entry. So do check out my videos on temporary resident permit for further details on this. Now, in regard to the documentation on the criminal rehabilitation, it's really your ID documents that are important. So things like your passport data page. In addition, obviously, the criminality side of it, so your police clearances, your court documentation. We have to demonstrate to the officer exactly what you were charged with, what were you convicted of, what was the sentence imposed, and has everything been completed. So if that is the set of documents needed, you might have a police clearance that indicates all of those information, and that will suffice. Usually it's not the case, which means we're going to need all of those documentation, whether it's a police clearance, court documentation, maybe a letter from your criminal lawyer that handled your case, etc., etc. In addition, we also have to remember that we have to prove that you are rehabilitated. And what that means is we have to demonstrate to the officer that you are of good character, that this offense is of something of the past, and that you are not going to commit any offense or cause any harm to Canada. And so those documentation really varies from clients to clients. It could be volunteering that you may have done, could be your resume, your employment, could be reference letters, etc., etc. So depending on your case, you can call us or email us and we can review your documentation and let you know how to submit a strong application. Please do give us a call. We'll be waiting for you. Thank you, and until next time.